Hi friends, welcome back. So today I'm bringing you guys another video, and this is going to be my holiday 2018 anti-haul. So excited. I feel like I should not be excited to talk about products that I'm not excited about, but for some reason I'm really excited about it. I did do this video last year for 2017. I will link it up here or up here. I'm not even really sure which side it's going to be on, but it's going to be up here somewhere. There are a lot of things coming out this holiday season, and a lot that I've already picked up, and a lot that I'm planning on picking up, and a lot that I'm so uninterested in. I've actually seen a couple of people mention some things that I'm actually very excited about in their anti-hauls, and I don't really take offense to it because, like I said, I know everybody likes different things, and I hope that if you have something that you are really looking forward to, or you plan on picking up, or you have already picked up and I mentioned it in this video, I hope that you don't get discouraged or upset or anything like that, because you know, we're all different people. I do just want to address the maybe elephant in the room, which is my hair. I did cut it again, and I think it's a little shorter than I want it to go. I mean, it's basically buzzed everywhere except right here. And I don't mind that it's buzzed. I just feel like this section looks a little strange. But that's okay because it's going to grow out in like 2 weeks anyways. So I'm not so mad about it. I am really loving the short hair though. Like, short hair in general is just everything to me. And I feel like I never want to have long hair ever again because it's just so much fun. But to compensate for the fact that my hair is super duper duper short. Like, my hair was already short, but now it's like extra short, so now to compensate for it, I'm just going to wear these big old earrings and pretend that I'm still a girl. So I'm just going to jump into it. The first thing that I am absolutely not picking up, is the Natasha Denona Gold Palette. I'm going to leave pictures of everything I speak about right here, by the way, because of course I don't have the actual products to show you. Most of the things that they come out with, I really do enjoy. Like, their first 200 and whatever dollar palettes that they had, I think it was like $239 palettes that they came out with. I picked those up and I loved those for a really long time. I believe I did some tutorials with those actually. But I feel like as more and more products get released, there are like a couple of like duds in my opinion. Like the Lila palette I didn't pick up, and the Star palette I didn't pick up. Those color stories just really didn't speak to me, and that same exact thing goes for this gold palette. I am just not interested in another warm brown gold palette. We have so many on the market right now, and I definitely don't need one that's $128 or $27, $29, $29. I think it's $29. Not only that, but the shades in this palette, they're just very confusing to me because I feel like there are some gold shades that look exactly the same. Like, there's some repetitive shades in this palette, and then there's some random blue shades that I feel like, why are you here? Like, who invited you? And then I just don't feel like there's enough crease shades. There's like 2 or 3 transition shades, and then that's it. Like, I need to deepen up my gold looks. Like, I need more, and I feel like this palette really didn't do much for me in terms of that. Now, her Safari palette, okay, that's another level. I love that palette, and I do plan on doing a tutorial with that palette, so please stay tuned for that. But this gold palette, it's just not doing it for me. Another palette that I am not picking up. This is the Urban Decay Naked Cherry palette. I mean, this is it right here. I know a lot of videos have been coming out about this palette, and I get it. I think if I was probably sent it in PR, like, I would have maybe done like a video on it, but I'm not gonna use my money that I work oh so hard for to go purchase this palette. That's not gonna happen ever, and I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. That's what that's what it's looking like. That's what's happening. The reason I'm kind of turned off by this palette is I feel like there are like 8 of the same exact shade, literally the same exact shade, and the color scheme is just not exciting to me. Urban Decay Naked palettes are some of my least favorite palettes, like, of all time. And I mean, I'm including all of them in there. The only one that I kept, because at one point I did own all of them, the only one that I kept is the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. And that's because that palette is amazing. I love that palette. I did a tutorial with that palette. I'll link it up here somewhere. It's just missing the mark for me. That's what I'll say. The next one is gonna, I feel like, get me a whole bunch of hate. This is probably the most unpopular opinion on the entire internet. And that was extremely dramatic, yes. And no, it's not that deep, but I just feel like I have not seen one person say anything bad about this collection. And I'm gonna be the first, I think. The ColourPop Disney collection. I love a good Disney princess as much as the next person. Believe me on that. I love the Disney princesses, and I still watch all of the movies with Alana, and I'm like, I wonder which one is going to be her favorite. My favorite is Ariel. Second favorite is Belle. Actually, Alana's entire room is decorated like with mermaid stuff. There's like Ariels everywhere. And even my baby shower was mermaid themed. So yeah, I like Ariel, yeah. All that to say, I am not going to pick up anything from this collection. I am very uninterested in this collection, and I'm going to explain myself, and hopefully you guys can hear me out. Okay, their eyeshadow palette is like, it's just a regular neutral eyeshadow palette, and it's not even that it's just a regular neutral eyeshadow palette. I feel like it's an even more toned down version of a neutral eyeshadow palette. So I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want it. It sucks because, like I said, Disney doing a collab, that automatically makes me want it. But then when I see the collection, like, I can't justify to myself actually picking it up. Even though it is pretty inexpensive, I still can't justify, like, going out of my way, purchasing this, and knowing that I'm just gonna toss it to the side and, like, never actually use it. And if I do use it, I'm just gonna be doing it for, like, a video and then tossing it to the side and never using it again. You know what I mean? So I'm not picking anything up. I'm sorry, but I'm actually not that sorry. I feel like we should talk about Kylie Cosmetics really quickly. Kylie Cosmetics is actually one of my favorite makeup brands. I'm gonna say it. I feel like she comes out with so many products, and a lot of them are really good. A lot of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them are pretty good. But one thing, one specific product that I only have like a few of are her eyeshadow palettes. I feel like her eyeshadow palettes are not very well thought out in general. I am going to talk about two specific ones that I am completely anti-hauling. I just feel like in general, they're not really well thought out. They're kind of just thrown together. She's kind of like, oh, that color's cute, that color's cute, that color's cute. They don't go together at all, but put them in a palette. So the two palettes that I want to talk about specifically are the Halloween palette and her collaboration with Jordyn Woods. I'm going to go into the Halloween palette first because that's the one that stresses me out the most. The shades, to me, they don't go together at all. There's like nothing in this palette that inspires me, that makes me think like, oh, I could definitely use that in a look. Like, no. If you're gonna use that palette, you're definitely gonna have to use it with something else. In my opinion, I've seen people use it by itself, but for me, I just cannot see myself only reaching for this palette to create a look that I'm gonna be happy with at the end of the day. Like, I could do it, but I know that I'm not gonna be like, this is the best makeup ever. I'm pretty sure there's only 2 mattes, and it's a 9-pan palette. And you know, I'm the kind of person who wants 87 mattes if there's a 9-pan palette. And the only 2 mattes, there's a transition matte and then like a green matte. And then you have like a purple shimmer, like a yellow gold shimmer, you have like a dark green shimmer. I don't know what is going on there. I don't know what. Moving on to the Jordyn Woods palette. And I've seen a couple of people use this palette in tutorials, and the look does come out nice. But for me personally, I just don't want that palette. That palette to me just doesn't do anything for me. I feel like it is the most basic, neutral, like bleh palette ever. It's just so toned down and neutral and boring. I'm sorry that I'm saying it, but it's boring. I don't find myself like excited to use it. And when you have as many eyeshadow palettes as I do, you need to buy something because you're excited to use it. Like some of the things that I have coming up, some of the tutorials that I have coming up, I am excited about them. I cannot wait to play with some of these eyeshadow palettes. This one definitely did not bring any type of joy or excitement to my life whatsoever. For that reason, I did not buy it. I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes in this video, and I think that's exactly how it worked out last year too. But you know what? That's just how this goes. Okay, I'm an eyeshadow palette kind of a person, and during the holidays, I feel like that's when most eyeshadow palettes come out. So I have excuses, okay? So the palette that I want to talk about is the Too Faced Gingerbread Spice palette. Too Faced is one of those brands that I just feel like comes out with the same old stuff over and over and over again. I feel like they have a vault of shades. Okay, this is how I picture it, Too Faced headquarters. They have a vault of shades, and every single year when it's about to be Christmas time, they're just kind of like, ooh, you know what? I like this color paired with this color paired with this color. But it's the same person picking the colors every single year, so the palette ends up looking exactly the same every single year. That's just how I feel. The packaging is always different. The packaging is always super cute with Too Faced. I have to give them that, okay? Their packaging is always really nice, but I'm just not, I don't care that much about packaging, okay? I'm not one of those people who's like enticed by packaging. So for me, Too Faced, no. Viseart makes one of my favorites, if not my favorite, matte eyeshadow formula of all time. And their first Grande Pro palette I love. I purchased it like the freaking second it went on sale because I knew I was gonna pick that up because I knew how much I love their matte formula. And the first palette, the first Grande Pro, which by the way, these Grande Pros, oh my god, they're a lot of dollars. It was worth it for me because I'm an all matte lover, and their first palette was all matte shades. I love that palette. I did do a get ready with me video with it last year. I think it was for New Year's actually. I'll link it up here somewhere. You can see like how much has changed since then. So when I saw that they were coming out with a second volume, I was just so excited. I was over the moon. I knew that they were gonna come out with something amazing, except that they made this palette all shimmers. And I can understand why they did that. I'm sure that the two palettes together are probably like a match made in heaven. You've got all your shimmers, you've got all your mattes. There is 0% of me that is even a little bit interested in this palette. I am an all matte kind of person. I could do an all matte eye for the rest of my life and be completely happy, with the exception of an inner corner highlight. For my look today, I used like a pot eyeshadow. You know those ones that like everybody is coming out with. I used one of those, which is more likely what I'm gonna grab, or like a glitter or like a liquid eyeshadow rather than a palette full of shimmers. I actually do have a palette full of shimmers by Urban Decay. I think they came out with it last year. And like I use that from time to time, but definitely not enough for me to go ahead and pick up another one that is a lot more expensive. I have a couple more things to talk about. This next one is kind of like a collection. This is like the Kat Von D Fetish collection. She has an eyeshadow palette and also like a cheek palette that are both like Fetish. They're both called Fetish, so I'm talking about both of the products. So like I don't want those. I'm talking about the eyeshadow palette here, but I'm also including the cheek palette in this. Besides the drama that is surrounding Kat Von D and the raising of her child and her decisions and whatnot, her brand is not doing anything interesting. I actually did pick up her 10-year anniversary palette, which I do like that. So I'll link the video that I did with that palette up here somewhere. I kind of feel the same way that I feel about Too Faced, about Kat Von D. Like she has a vault of shades and herself is going in and saying like, I want this color, I want this color, I want this color. She's leaving like a lot of shades untouched, and she's ending up with the exact same eyeshadow colors in every single palette. Everything is just scattered all over the place. You don't know what to do with it. There are just like colorful eyeshadows here, like browns here. It just looks crazy to me, but at the same time, it just looks uninspiring. Like I feel like maybe if they would organize the colors in a more specific pattern, maybe then I'd be like, okay, earring. Whoa. Maybe then I'd be like, okay, like I see where they were going. Like maybe I could get some looks out of this. But I don't feel like that. Like the way that Mi Vida Loca remix was set up, the huge one that was like a wheel that I have and I love still to this day. I thought that palette was amazing. The way that it was set up was amazing, and I got inspired immediately, which is why I posted the 3 different looks. But for this palette, I don't want that. No. The cheek palette also is very uninteresting to me. I mean, I have less to say because it's a cheek palette, but I don't feel like the shades are gonna be like all that on my skin. And plus, I don't usually get that excited about cheek palettes in general, so I don't want the cheek palette either. But like I said, most importantly is that eyeshadow palette. I don't want that. I have 2 more cheek palettes that I want to talk about. The Hourglass blush palettes, or the ambient lighting palettes, or whatever they're called, the ambient palettes. I will have both of their pictures here because they did release 2. I don't want those at all. These palettes to me are also extremely repetitive. Every single year, I feel like they look the same. They might not have the same products in them, like the same shades, but they look the same. They look like ash, in my opinion. They don't look like they're gonna look that good on me. I do really like the Ambient blushes from Hourglass in general. Like, I have a whole bunch of the single ones that look really nice on me, but I feel like the way that they combine them, they never make a palette that I feel like is gonna look good on me. Like, maybe one shade would work on my skin tone, but I never see like a full palette that I'm gonna really get some use out of. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you know what I'm saying. Along with that, I want to talk about the Nars blush palettes that come out every single year. I feel like every single year they include Orgasm, they include Laguna, they include Casino, and then they throw in like one color that's like exclusive to the palette, but then even that color looks exactly the same as the one from last year that was also exclusive to the palette. So I'm just really trying to understand what Nars is doing. They do up the packaging every single year, I have to give them that. I just don't feel like it's worth it, especially since Nars is kind of pricey. Usually their cheek palettes go for like 50, 60, maybe sometimes even $70. So I feel like if you have one from last year, if you haven't run out of the products in there, don't even look at it. Don't even look at it, because it's the same thing that you already have. The last thing that I want to talk about, and I feel like this is the longest video of all time, I've been filming for like 3.5 hours, but the last thing that I want to talk about is a lipstick formula that is coming out by McGrath, and I don't want it. I think it's out already actually, but I just wanted to let you know that I don't want it. The lipstick formula that I'm talking about is the Blitztrance lipstick. I will of course leave a picture here. They are the sheer formula by McGrath, and in case you've been living under a rock, please let me enlighten you on the fact that McGrath is a lot of dollars. All of her products are super expensive. These are a $40 lipstick formula that are sheer. They're meant to be sheer. It's not like they're supposed to be opaque and they come out sheer. Like, they're supposed to be sheer, but they're $40 for a sheer formula. I'm so confused. Why would anybody pay $40 for a sheer formula? Like, I could maybe understand $40 for the matte trans lipsticks, because those I have seen swatches, okay? They are like one swipe and that's it. Your lip is like perfect, fully opaque, beautiful color. But $38 for sheer color that I can only imagine is gonna wear off in like 30 seconds. I can't get down with that. I'm sure that there are people who actually do like sheer lipsticks. I myself am not one of those people. I don't ever see myself becoming one of those people. But then again, like, who knows, you know. So that was the last product that I had to talk about. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did like it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Snapchat. All the information will be linked down below, as well as everything that we spoke about and everything that's on my face today. I actually did my makeup to go to Red Lobster today, and I ended up being obsessed with it. I wasn't even planning to film today, but I was so in love with my makeup that I said today's the anti-haul day. Yep, that's what's happening today. Just as a reminder, I really don't want you guys to take any offense to anything that I said today. It was definitely meant in a more lighthearted way. I don't want it to be taken in like an aggressive, like attacking way, although I know that I talk kind of aggressive, so like I'm sorry, okay? Sometimes I think I'm talking like super low and I'm really like screaming at you, and like I don't even notice. It's not my fault. I'm Dominican. Anyway, that's all that I had to say for today's video, so I will see you guys in my next one. Bye. Hi friends, welcome back. So today I'm bringing you guys another video, and this is going to be another tutorial. And I know I'm doing a lot of tutorials recently, but like I can't help it. That's what I like to do. I like to do tutorials.